Hi, this is Chris from Orange Coast College's Art Department, reviewing how to draw spheres and cylinders on dark gray Canson paper with markers and colored pencils. All right, let's take a look at what we need to start. So I've got a sheet of Canson paper here, and I want to double make sure I'm not on the rough side. This is the rough side. This is the smooth side. I've got black and white Prismacolor colored pencils, and I've got a set of gray markers. And what I want to do is take a look at various surface finishes. Here's an example here, and I want to do like this: 3 spheres and 3 cylinders in a matte, a shiny, and a chrome finish. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some circles, and I'm just going to trace some with a cup here and some cylinders, and I can do this in time lapse. All right, so here I've got a quick layout, and let's note which ones are going to be which. So here on this side, I'm going to do matte, and here I'm going to do shiny, and here I'm going to do chrome or mirror reflective. Now, the things that we want to know is with matte, we're not going to have as wide of a value range, and the transitions are going to be smooth. With shiny, we're going to have a wide value range, and the transitions are going to be shorter. And with chrome, we're going to have the widest value range, the highest contrast. So a lot of white and a lot of black, and not much in between. So let's get started with the matte, and then we can work our way through. Always start darkest first. So I'm going to start with an 80, and I'm going to lay in my core shadow, my crescent moon for my sphere. And all I want to do at this point is transition the shaded side of the sphere by stepping through my markers, 70, 60, 50, and so on, but not crossing into the lit side of the sphere. So it's going to take a even hand to do that. And I think I'm going to just do an every other once I hit my 70 here. Actually, with my matte, I'm going to do all of them, but it's just going to be incremental, really small increments, and I want it to be smooth. And I'll probably leave the reflected light at 40 on this side of the sphere. That's going to be the lightest it gets. It's going to be 40, and then I'm going to start wrapping that up and around. $30. Till I hit kind of the center line. I want to get there pretty quickly here. 20, and you'll notice that, boy, this doesn't look like 20% when I put it down. That's because it's making the paper wet, and it will dry, and the 20 and the 10 is barely going to be visible. All right, so I'm going to leave my center light paper. This will take a moment to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to take my white, I'm going to find my highlight. So I'm going to make my highlight in here, and then I'm just going to slowly make a gradation until I can just make a smooth transition to paper. So something like that. For each of these, I'm going to want to grab a 90 and cast a shadow that's an ellipse. And just kind of fill it in with my 90. And you'll notice as this dries, it's really going to hopefully be a subtle transition. And if I want to, I can take my black here and just get a little occlusion, a little bit darker under there. Fade that out into my shadow. All right, so pretty smooth and not very high contrast at all. So shiny, I need to step up the contrast. So I'm going to go with my 90 here for my crescent, and I'm going to go really quickly. I'm going to step on alternating. So I'm just going to go 90, 70, 50. All right, now the big change comes with our Chrome version. So the Chrome is not going to have the standard lighting setup. It will have the standard shadow, so I can drop that in. So it'll cast a shadow, much like the others. However, it's going to be reflecting like a mirror its environment rather than showing the standard sphere shading. Now, we actually don't want to see the environment as it looks. We want to simplify and abstract the environment. And so an easy way to do that is imagine a ground plane and a horizon line. So the horizon line is going to, I'm going to do kind of an erratic one. So first I'm going to come on down for the horizon, and then I'm going to assume kind of a desert mountain scene. And I'm doing this all with my black. I'm doing it with the darkest I can. And so it's a little erratic, at least on the sort of mountain profiles. And I want to sort of carry this down so it feels like I'm reflecting a ground plane and then a distant mountain and then additional sky beyond. So you kind of have this stereotypical desert. And then down here, I'm going to reflect the shadow. So this is actually just a reflection of the shadow on the ground plane. So it's sort of immediate environment. And now I'm going to take my white and I'm going to make really big white shapes. So here I want high contrast. I want black against white. And then I want to create kind of a big white shape. And I'm really just going to grind this guy in. So I don't want to break any leads, but I want to lean on my white here. Get this big shape, and then kind of transition out of it. Pull in the top of the ball with the white, and then kind of looking at sort of a sky gradation going on. And then maybe find an opportunity to get another white shape in. down there on the bottom. Gonna let that gradate out a little bit. And really, this can be anything, but I think having a strong horizon is really helpful. And so that we at least establish that there's a ground plane, there's an edge to that ground plane, there's a little reflection in the ball of the shadow shape, and then I'm going to get in here and get some nice occlusion going under the ball. All right, so minimal shapes, black against white, bigger shapes, high contrast, and there's our crumb ball. So this is a little harder to do than the cylinders. So let's take a look at the matte cylinders. I'm going to use the same value range and kind of the same amount of contrast. So let's start here with my matte. I'm going to do, let's do the shadow first so you can see where the light's coming from. I'm just going to do the light straight out to the side. Right here. And so that means the light's going to be coming from straight to our left to right. So we can take our 80. I'm going to find my core shadow, and again, I'm going to do a subtle transition from my core shadow. You get a little bit of a hot spot right on the edge, like that. But that's pretty much done on the sides. And then on the back, I'm going to throw a nice soft gradation for the light against dark up there, and then a little dark against light here. There's not a hard and fast rule for the plane on top of the cylinder. I just want to give a little bit of definition to it, but that'll dry up pretty light. Those are just 10 and 20%. But you can see really soft gradation here. Core shadow, really soft from the highlight. And let's just ramp it up a little bit. Go into shiny. Let's start with our 90 for our core shadow. So my white's not meeting my dark yet, but it's gonna on this next one. So let's go ahead and throw out our shadow first. Again, this is a reflection of something that's above the top of the cylinder, both in black and white. And there we go. So we've got matte, shiny, and chrome, spheres, and cylinders. And we have low contrast, medium contrast, high contrast. More of the black and the white, less of the black and the white. And here Again, you can dial the shininess, how shiny you want to make it. Already this is pretty shiny, adding that much reflection. I think I could probably even take that down some if I had an eraser. All right, now it's your turn. Go ahead and give this a shot. Good luck.